Cryptocurrencies are increasing in popularity. These are virtual or digital currencies that are decentralized and can be used to trade or spend using blockchain technology. Many of them are aimed to enhance privacy and anonymity, and whether they achieve success is unpredictable. A few of these currencies allow public viewing of all transactions, while others make privacy optional. And still, others keep the privacy feature strictly implicit. When most of us think cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin is usually the first one that comes to mind. It was one of the first of its kind, using peer-to-peer technology to allow users to make payments with their coins. But there's another currency that has achieved a high level of popularity and acceptance, mainly for its privacy-oriented features. This one is called Monero. This video explains the key concepts, features, and challenges of Monero. Monero is an open-source, privacy-oriented cryptocurrency that was launched in 2014. It is built and operates on the concept. These blockchains, which form the underlying technology behind digital currencies, are public ledgers of participants' activities that show all the transactions on the network. Monero's blockchain is intentionally configured to be opaque. It makes transaction details, like the identity of senders and recipients, and the amount of every transaction, anonymous, by disguising the addresses used by participants. Along with anonymity, the mining process for Monero is based on an egalitarian concept. This is the principle that all people are equal and deserve equal opportunities. Its developers did not keep any stake for themselves when they launched Monero, but they did bank on contributions and community support to further develop the virtual currency. As mentioned above, Bitcoin is the most popular cryptocurrency on the market. It works on a protocol that attempts to shield the participant's identity using pseudo-name addresses. These pseudo-names are randomly generated combinations of alphabets and numbers. But this approach offers limited privacy as both Bitcoin addresses and transactions are registered on the blockchain, opening them to public access. Even pseudonymous addresses are not fully private. A few transactions carried on by a participant over time can be linked to the same address, allowing the possibility of others to become aware of an address's owner's trends and their identity. Another advantage of Monero over Bitcoin is fungibility. This means that 2 units of a currency can be mutually substituted with no difference between them, while 2 $1 bills are equal in value. They are not fungible, as each carries a unique serial number. In contrast, 2 1-ounce gold bars of the same grade are fungible, as both have the same value and don't carry any distinguishing features. Use this analogy. A Bitcoin is the $1 bill, while a Monero is that piece of gold. The transaction history of each Bitcoin is recorded on the blockchain. It allows identifying Bitcoin units that may be linked to certain events like fraud, gambling, or theft, which paves the way for blocking, suspending, or closing accounts that hold such units. Imagine receiving a few Bitcoins today that were previously used for gambling, and they are banned in the future, leading to a loss. Monero has a non-traceable transaction history, which offers participants a much safer network where they don't run the risk of having their held units be refused or blacklisted by others. Monero alleviates privacy concerns using the concepts of ring signatures and stealth addresses. Ring signatures enable a sender to conceal their identity from other participants in a group. Ring signatures are anonymous digital signatures from one member of the group, but they don't reveal which members sign a transaction. To generate a ring signature, the Monero platform uses a combination of a sender's account keys and clubs it with public keys on the blockchain. This makes it unique as well as private. It hides the sender's identity, as it is computationally impossible to ascertain which of the group members' keys was used to produce the complex signature. Stealth addresses add additional privacy, as these randomly generated addresses for one-time use are created for each transaction on behalf of the recipient. The use of these stealth addresses enables concealing the actual destination address of a transaction, and it hides the identity of the receiving participant. Ring confidential transactions, or Ring CT, also enable hiding the amount of a transaction. After achieving success in hiding the identities of senders and receivers, the Ring CT functionality was introduced in January 2017. And is mandatory for all transactions executed on the Monero network. While privacy fuels the rapid adoption of Monero, it also brings with it several challenges. For instance, the non-traceability and privacy features allow them to be used for disreputable purposes and at questionable marketplaces, including those like drugs and gambling. This is one of the reasons why markets that were popular on the dark web, like Alphabet and Oasis, showed increased use of Monero before they were shut down. Reports by CNBC cite the case of hackers creating malicious software that infected computers to mine Monero and send it to North Korea. Monero is essentially open to be used for illicit activities and for evading law enforcement as it remains outside of capital controls with no traceability. Monero runs on all leading OS platforms including Windows, Mac OS, Linux, Android, and FreeBSD. The currency supports a mining process where individuals get rewarded for their activities by joining mining pools, or they can mine coins individually. Monero mining can be performed on a standard computer and does not need any specific hardware such as application-specific integrated circuits or ASICs. An ASIC is a costly form of hardware unit that is commonly used to mine cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin. Instead, you can use the CPU or GPU of your own computer to mine the currency. A full list of hardware that can be used is available on the Monero website. Users can also install certain software which may cost a developer fee. According to the company's website, Monero relies on proof-of-work mining. This is an algorithm that provides security to certain cryptocurrencies like Monero. This system prevents problems surrounding double spending, which can skew the supply, showing there's much more than actually available. Purchasing the currency is as easy as going on an exchange or looking for a seller who's willing to unload their supply. You can also buy Monero through an ATM that is enabled for cryptocurrencies. One of the more popular questions is Monero illegal? Monero is actually not an illegal cryptocurrency. Unlike others, it is a privacy-oriented cryptocurrency that provides users with anonymity. This means it is not traceable. This characteristic, however, does make it very popular on the darknet and for use with certain activities such as gambling and the sale of drugs. Monero, or XMR, is untraceable, unlike other coins such as Bitcoin. Monero has a non-traceable transaction history. This characteristic offers participants a much safer network where they don't run the risk of having their held units be refused or blacklisted by others. Monero was among the first cryptocurrencies to feature cryptography that offered real advances in privacy and fungibility over available alternatives. Its key differentiator was its ability to send and receive transactions without making this data available to anyone examining its blockchain. As such, Monero is often classed with other privacy cryptocurrencies such as Zcash that have sought to address privacy weaknesses in Bitcoin. On Bitcoin, transactions reveal the amount exchanged as well as data about the sender and receiver by default. This in turn enables Bitcoins to be traced, making them less fungible, as companies are able to identify and blacklist coins involved in suspected criminal enterprises, as an example. However, while projects like Zcash enjoyed media fanfare and backing from venture capitalists, Monero's origins are more comparable to Bitcoin's, involving a small online tech community that grew quietly over time as the project gained credibility and market share. But Monero has also differentiated in other areas apart from just privacy. For example, Monero's software is programmed to update every 6 months, a regular schedule that has helped it more aggressively add new features without much controversy. This has meant that Monero has been able to continue to introduce cryptographic advances like stealth addresses, which allow users to create one-time addresses, and ring confidential transactions, which hide transaction amounts. Given its willingness to pioneer such advances, Monero continues to attract interest from cryptographers and researchers looking to push the limits of what's possible in cryptocurrency. Not all privacy cryptocurrencies achieve privacy in the same way, and as a result, users should not consider them equal offerings or interchangeable. XMR, for example, should be viewed as a tool that, when used correctly, obscures user data on the blockchain, making its users more difficult to trace. The technology that makes this possible, Monero uses ring signatures to mix the digital signatures of the individual making an XMR transaction with the signatures of other users before recording it on the blockchain. This way, should you look at the data, it would appear as if the transaction was sent by any one of the signers. Over the years, Monero has experimented with altering the number of signatures involved in this mixing process, at one time even allowing users to specify a desired number. Yet another feature contributing to Monero's privacy is stealth addresses, which enables users to publish one address that automatically creates many one-time accounts for every transaction. Using a secret view key, the owner can then identify their incoming funds, as their wallet can scan the blockchain to identify any transactions with that key. Cryptocurrencies are a very popular investment for many people, but the popularity and price of Bitcoin may be a turnoff. There are plenty of other virtual currencies that you can purchase and trade that may be easier in which to invest, notably Monero. The privacy-rich attributes have helped Monero become a recognizable cryptocurrency and one to keep an eye on. Investors can trade in Monero on leading cryptocurrency exchanges like Kraken, Poloniex, and Bitfinex. However, it's important to remember that what makes Monero so popular, namely its privacy features, can also lead to some major challenges, such as its use in illegal activities.